Hi, guys. My name is Brent Gambrell, and I'm the president of BGM and A Door to Hope. A Door to Hope is a ministry working with the Haitian people for over a decade. But today I want to talk to you about my new book, Living for Another. I just call it another book. I hope it's not just another book, but it's a book about pouring your life out to another. The concept of this book came from 17 years or more of me traveling all over this country and counseling with people, but beginning to see an overwhelming theme in people's lives of unfulfillment, of a hole inside them. I actually was sitting with a guy one day in my office, and he said he talked for over half an hour of all the issues going on in his life from his childhood on, and this had happened to me, and that's happened to me, and this is going on, and that's going on, and I sat and listened for a long time, and I finally looked at him and said, "Man, your life is horrible." That must be hard. And he said, "What?" And I said, "Man, if I had to think about you all day long, I would be really depressed too." He gave me kind of a weird look, and I said, "But hold on. If I had to think about me all day long, you don't know my life, I would be depressed too. So I don't think about me. I try to think about others." That's where this whole book began. That we're made to pour our life out to another person, to all those around us. Jesus said, if you want to gain your life, you'll lose it. He was sitting with a group of guys one day, and I think he was trying to explain this when one of them said, "Jesus, you need something to eat. Nobody's brought you anything to eat." And he said, "I have a food that you know nothing about." One of them said, "You mean somebody brought you something to eat?" And he said, "No." He said, "My food is to do the will of the Father and finish the work." Now, when I began to study that, he was saying what sustains me and fulfills me is to do the will of the Father and finish the work. Well, as I began to study this, I began to find that the will of the Father is the glorification of God, to glorify God in everything that we do. And the finished work that he came to accomplish on the planet was the redemption of man, to redeem man, not just salvation, but to redeem means to make the very most of. So he came to do both of those things, and we're to do that too. We're to glorify God and redeem man. So now that he lives in you, now that he inhabits you, guess what the only thing is that will ever fulfill you? Glorify the Father and do that finished work of redeeming man. So this book describes living your life for another. The first few chapters kind of unpack the concept of living for another, this another life, the whys and what fors behind it. We explore that God gives us, everything that God gives us is to flow through us. Is to flow through us so that we are a funnel to everyone around us, not a puddle that stagnates. That's why we become dry in our walk with Christ. Even the struggles he gives us, one of the chapters talks about the struggles he gives us are to be given out to other people because he heals us too much. We've got to give that out. Then we go into a section on the actual anothers in Scripture, the bear with one another's, the love one another's, forgive one another, submit to one another's, all those anothers that are very difficult, but it's a kind of rubber meets the road. How do I do this on my daily, in my daily life? The last few chapters, we look at the heart of the Father, where we'll see how he sees everyone. And because of that, how we're to see everyone around us. Then we look at the life of the Son, Jesus Christ, who is, of course, our ultimate template for living another life. We end the book by looking at the life of a guy, an actual guy that I believe was the most influential disciple who ever lived, and yet most people would never even mention his name in the list. Because he poured his life out to everyone around him. He truly lived that life. And that's what I hope this book does. I hope it changes people's minds. I hope it's not just an intellectual assent to God, but that it changes people's minds, because I don't believe we'll ever change our behaviors. We'll never change our attitudes. We'll never change our circumstances until we change our minds first. My prayer is that people put this book down and they say, "You know what? I've changed my mind this much about how to live my life." Thanks a lot.